What's up, comrades? Nolf here, and welcome to another video. Today is a video that I kind of felt like making. I had it on my mind all of yesterday, and whenever I decided to upload this, I don't know when, but I saw messages, or I saw a tweet from a friend of mine talking about a lot of the problems that comic books have, and, you know, why he's uninterested in it, and it got me to thinking, along with a video that I watched the same day, of people, you know, because a lot of people have kind of stopped reading Marvel Comics. You know, Marvel Comics has hit a slump when it comes to sales and things of that nature, and, you know, the comic book creators aren't, you know, making it better in a lot of cases. A lot of it is they're making it worse. They're not helping the situations any. They're just kind of persisting in their own behaviors, I guess is the nicest way to put it. They're persisting in their own ideals and whatnot, and they're not budging in a lot of ways, and they're making it harder. They're being overly dramatic about people criticizing or talking about their books or talking about them. They're not relaxing, and I understand that frustration very well. It's frustration I have to contend with on a regular basis, because I want to enjoy comic books, and it becomes increasingly difficult to do so. And the more that Marvel and certain comic creators have pushed in the way that they have, it's pushed people away from the hobby. And with that happening, it also means it's pushing people away from the comic book stores, the people who try and make a living off of selling this type of stuff. And this type of stuff is happening in a lot of different, you know, at least in hobbies like the Magic the Gathering community and tabletop games and stuff like that. And I'm trying to, at the very least with this video, tell everybody to go and support their comic stores, their game stores, especially if you have one or have more than one. You should be very happy, very blessed to have that opportunity to go there, because I can't, and I want to live vicariously through you guys, I guess, in a sense. Because there's a lot of ways to support them. It's not just like new comic books. And to those who probably don't buy physical, that's completely okay. You can buy digital comics. That helps out too, in some form or another. It's depressing to see this type of stuff happening, because we have heard over the course of several months comic stores and game stores closing down because they can't support themselves, and a lot of it is because of bad business practices by certain companies, and it's hurt their business. And every time the business tries to stand up and tries to tell the publishers, the creators brush it off as nothing or inconsequential. It's not important. Those aren't the people we're trying to reach anyway, which is really stupid. I want to give alternative options to people who are dissuaded from going to the comic book store or things of that nature. And believe you me, it is not an easy thing. The hobby itself is not as cheap as it used to be. That's for sure. If you're someone who already reads mangas and whatnot, I'd probably say stick with that. You're probably better off that way, because it's a far more affordable hobby than normal comic book, than Western comics, that's for sure. But I want to give alternatives, options. I've always tried to do that. I may bitch and complain about several things, but it's only because I care, and it's only because I just want to see everybody having fun in a hobby that I enjoy. So, the alternatives that I can think of is you should still go to your comic shop if you have one. There are still a lot of good books being published. And also, if the new books are not your cup of tea, you don't like them, not just from Marvel, but if you're not a fan of DC Rebirth, which is a possibility, though I don't know why, but if you're not a fan of those things, if you are upset with these types of things, there have been many creators over several generations who have done wonderful work in the industry that you can support. There is always the trades. Those are always an option. Nice trades. Most of them are not cheap anymore nowadays, but sometimes you might get lucky. There might be a sale. There is always, and I cannot stress this enough, because a lot of people don't do this, because they only want to read the new stuff. There is always the long boxes at your local shops, and this is basically like if you like going to your local comic shop, but you don't want to buy a lot of the new stuff, go to their long boxes, because they actually make money off of the long box, far more so than anything else. They make more money through the sale of figures and memorabilia and the long boxes than they do with new publications, because they have to order the new publications and they don't really see any real return from that. I know that this has been probably some of the roughest times for comic book fans and other assorted individuals, because they love the hobby, but, you know, it's been infested with things. It's damaged. There's bad business practices going on top of bad behavior. And I understand that. It upsets me probably more so than it probably should. But, like I said, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys have a local comic shop or a game shop or something to that nature to still support them, still help them. You know, I know a lot of my friends and whatnot here on YouTube who I talk to, they still do that. They still go to comic shops and whatnot. But this is for the people who might struggle with that, who might not do that very often. I can understand the frustration very much. And I'm just trying to help out as best I can to try and lift you guys up a bit. Even though this is sounds mildly depressing, but I don't want anybody to quit the hobby because of stupid shit. The only reason I would ever want to quit a hobby is because I can't afford it, you know, or I have to prioritize other hobbies over that one. In a sense, that's kind of what I've done with comics for the most part nowadays, is I can't afford them as much as I would like to. So I have to you know, pick and choose. It's like, do I want to buy comics, or do I want to buy a game, buy a manga, maybe watch a movie? You know, there's a lot of options for entertainment, and sometimes that can overwhelm people. But with that kind of said, I'm going to leave this video here. I hope it helped in some form or another. Please, if it did help in some way or another, please leave me a like or shoot a comment down below. Tell me if you still go to your local comic shop. Do you go through the long boxes to find a book that might be more fun and enjoyable? What do you do? Do you have other alternatives that other fans might like? You know, are there other options that you would like to recommend to myself and others? Please feel free to do so. Hit notification as well. That will help out greatly. Maybe. I have no idea. YouTube is weird right now in a lot of ways. And as always, do not forget to raise your nerd flags high, and I will see you next time. Nightwolf's out.